Do you want the federal government to sell off a bunch of public lands so that we can build more apartments and pay off a fraction of the national debt? I didn't think so. There's something tucked inside the big beautiful bill that is very unpopular with conservatives, and that is the selling off of federal lands all over the western United States, including Idaho, Washington, Oregon, Utah, Nevada, you name it. This appears to be being spearheaded by a Republican senator from Utah, Mike Lee, and he's kind of saying that he thinks that this would help solve the housing crisis and help transfer these lands back into the hands of the states. But people have a lot of concerns. For one thing, the map of eligible land includes a lot of popular hiking spots, hunting spots, fishing spots. I would understand wanting to sell off lands that are just a burden on the taxpayers, like they're not useful, we're not getting anything out of them, and maybe they would be better off in private hands. But if there is any of that, it's being lumped in with the really popular useful stuff. This issue does raise a very interesting question about federal lands, or as we call them in Idaho, federally occupied lands. Because guess what? Constitutionally, the federal government is not supposed to own 64% of Idaho. Idaho is supposed to own 100% of Idaho. This should not be a controversial thing to say. And we experienced this firsthand in Idaho, that the federal government does own more than they can manage. We have terrible wildfires because no one's cutting the trees down because they're trying to save the chipmunks or whatever. But this whole proposition doesn't really seem to address the core of the issue. It seems like it's trying to solve one problem, but actually creating several more. And yes, selling public lands is a big decision. It affects everyone. Once they're sold, it's very difficult to get them back. It's not impossible. You can always buy them back. So I think what's most upsetting about this whole thing is just the idea that DC is going to tell all us states what we're going to do with our land. I'd like to see Idaho get all of her land rights back so that we can finally start exercising some state sovereignty, because that's why we have states. Fortunately, Idaho Senators Risch and Crapo have stated that they are in opposition to this, but from the statements I read, it was a little bit vague as to what exactly they were opposed to, whether it was just the language of the bill or whether it was the principle. They're your elected representatives. They work for you. Please reach out and let them know what you would like to happen with this issue and in future iterations of this issue. I want to support the big beautiful bill as much as any other conservative, but if there's something we don't like, we've got to give feedback so that our employees in DC can represent us properly. I'm Lily within the Know Idaho. Follow along if you want to keep up with what goes on in this state.